Alrighty, so I've just got off a flight about an hour ago, and actually just got back home about half hour ago, and just in time to basically do the review of the Leeds Cup final. By the way, I was able to watch both the Leeds Cup final and the third place match in the Leeds Cup both from the plane. I actually was able to watch the entire first half of the third place match in the Leeds Cup because my flight actually got delayed about 30 minutes, and because of that delay, I was able to watch the majority part of the first half, and then for the rest of the game, and also for the Leeds Cup final, I was able to watch it on the plane. I never thought the Delta Wi-Fi actually was good enough to basically watch Apple TV because there's always that skepticism in terms of Wi-Fi and on the airplane are not very good, but for most part of the flight, I was actually able to watch these game uninterrupted. I mean, there was some part where it was a little bit interrupted and the Wi-Fi wasn't working, but it wasn't that long that I missed a key moment in this game, and also the one that was the third place match in the Leeds Cup, which I'll do the review of that match in just a bit. But in terms of this final, well, I would like to say that this was a final where it was kind of a tale of two halves. I mean, first half, I thought Columbus was the better team. Second half, LAFC was definitely the better team, and I thought despite that, this looked like it was going to go to a shootout. But then, the old saying goes, it only takes one magical moment and maybe some luck to win a final, and that's exactly what the Columbus crew got late in this game. Now, in the first half, the first shot of the game did see Bogusz puts one right to Hagen. Now, this was a huge gamble for Wilfred Nancy, in my opinion, to go with Nick Hagen. I mean, I know Hagen has done well doing his time with Columbus in terms of this Leeds Cup run, but with the way that Schulte had played well in the last couple of games, I was expecting Schulte was going to be the number one in here, but here Nick Hagen was given the spot, and I got to give a lot of credit to Nick Hagen. He played very well in this one. I mean, it's one thing to step into the team in terms of the Leeds Cup, just to cover Patrick Schultz and find some good form, but to just kind of put it right back into it after you haven't played in the last couple of games. Again, I just feel like that was a huge gamble that Wilfred Nancy decided to do, and also a gamble that I'm not surprised Wilfred Nancy made because he's a guy that does make some bold gambles and make some bold choices with his starting 11. And yeah, it turns out that gamble kind of paid off because Hagen was really good in this game as well. But LAFC, I thought actually had most of the possession early as Columbus was happy to sit back and look for the counter. Now, obviously, that was very early in the game. For the rest of the first half, that's not how it went, and also for the rest of the game, that's not how it went. As for the rest of the game, Columbus started to take control of possession because that's what Nazi ball is all about. But the first shot for the crew did see Nagby puts it over the bar off the deflection. The possession went out 64 to 36 in favor of Columbus 15 minutes in. There was a shot for a handball in the box from the Columbus fans. They feel like that was a penalty. It wasn't given. They didn't even show a replay of that, so I'm assuming it's probably not a handball that is. But in the 22nd minute, Cucho was actually free. He was making that run. It was a beautiful ball that was played toward him, and he just could not quite tap that one in with an outstretched leg. And then Arson would flash it wide from long range before he had a shot that was deflected and goes wide. And really, for the first time in this final, we're starting to see some sustained pressure, especially from Columbus. They started putting the heat and was looking for the opening goal. Nagby almost scored another goal, also goal. It feels like Darlington Nagby. I mean, we talked about before. There's a lot of players that has that banger only kind of trait. Darlington Nagby is one that I don't think a lot of people mention the fact that he's kind of the guy that has that banger only trait. You know that when Darlington Nagby gets on the score sheet, it's going to be an absolute banger, and he almost scored one here on the volley, but just puts this one wide. We then get a cooling break right about the half out mark, which I thought that was a huge relief for LAFC because they were under siege. They were under significant pressure, and in some way, I think Taylor Twellman mentioned it, especially in the second half. LAFC looked like they were scared coming out of this game, and I understand. Yes, this team has had your number, and especially we know what happened a couple of weeks ago when they got absolutely destroyed at home by Columbus 5-0. But all this talk about how you go, this is the game that you of course get back in Columbus, and that they definitely learned their lesson after a 5-0, and they want to show that hunger that they can get the job done for once in a cup final, and they showed up like that, where they look really scary and look very very flat throughout the game. I mean, that was a really big surprise. And in the 42nd minute, Rossi would hit one right to Lloris. I thought it looked like, both teams would start the 7 for a 0-0 as we closed the halftime whistle. There wasn't really as much attacking chances by either team since the cooling break, though. That being said, Columbus probably saw that, and especially Cucho Hernandez saw that, and he took it personal because he scored in the 45th minute to get the opening goal of this game. He scored from Rossi to give Columbus a 1-0 lead. By the way, as I'll mention a little bit in the review of the third place match, Diego Rossi unfortunately lost the Golden Boot race on this final day because Ty Peribo actually won the Golden Boot race with him scoring the brace, and obviously Rossi didn't get this on the score sheet in this one, but I don't think Diego Rossi would have cared, especially what happened at the end of this game. But yeah, that gave Columbus a 1-0 lead, and well they deserved 1-0 lead because I thought they were the better team in the first half. So we go to the second half, and in the second half, Murillo had to be subbed off after he picked up a bit of a knock on the knee as Segura replaced him. Ironically, as much as at that time it looked like it was a big blow for LAFC because Murillo has been an absolute rock for this LAFC defense, it's actually turns out to be a benefit because Segura, he is a guy that is always known to be a more attacking minded kind of defender, and it kind of helped LAFC a little bit where they started to realize that, hey, why not just have it go in it? Just don't play scare like they did in the first half and see what happened. And you might as well to do so because you're down 1-0. You need to really go for it. Cucho then heads it wide from the set piece in the 52nd minute. Oh, I thought LAFC have not done well tonight dealing with set piece either, and especially those crosses. To be fair, I don't think both of these teams done particularly well, but I thought LAFC, they were having some tough time at times in terms of these set pieces, in terms of the crosses that's coming into the box. And a little foreshadow for you, that actually turns out to be a big thing, especially the winning goal of this game. But in the 54th minute, Bogusz thought that he tied it up for LAFC, but unfortunately the flag came up for offside. And really, that was really one of the first good look that LAFC has had on the attack, and that also might be a warning sign for Columbus because as much as you dominate the first half and you got that lead right before halftime, it's still only nothing. And we know LAFC eventually they're gonna wake up, and especially that they're gonna try to go for it. And we also know that it doesn't take much for LAFC to get the equalizer. LAFC at times, even when they're look like they're under siege, they will score a goal completely against the run of play and tie this game up. And guess what happened? That's exactly what they did because after Bowanga had a shot that was deflected and goes high on the ensuing corner, Olivier Giroud would score his first career goal for LAFC from Bogusz to tie the game up at one apiece. Well, I said it was kind of against the run of plays. LAFC was definitely really start building some momentum after that goal disallowed. In fact, I think that goal disallowed really changed the momentum of this game, and hence this is why I've said that this game was kind of a tale of two halves, where for the majority of the second half, that moment really started to give LAFC not only belief, but they started becoming the better team. Now, there was also a brief check to see whether or not if there was a potential foul in the box because it looked like Camacho got hit by one of the LAFC player, and that no Columbus feel like that should be potentially be called foul, but VAR says no. The goal, of course, was given, and yeah, just like that, it is all tied up at one apiece, and also just like that, momentum is now in favor of LAFC. I mean, I know it's always a cliche saying that goals change games, but that's kind of how it is. The momentum now is with LAFC. They look like they were more on the front foot, and they don't have that kind of scare mentality that they play in the first half, and we're really going to try to take the lead. The shots, though, still were 9-5 in favor of Columbus 64 minutes in. And then in the 70th minute, talk about scoring against the run of play. Christian Ramirez almost did so, and he would love to have this one back. I mean, he had an absolute free header there, just poor defending there from LAFC, and they got away with it because Ramirez heads this one right to Lloris. It was a rough night for Christian Ramirez. He was very quiet throughout this game, didn't get involved too much, and eventually, of course, got subbed off out of this one. And to add to a night where he just wasn't at it, this was a moment that he would love to have it back and then some. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like I said, at the end of the day, he probably won't think about that. But if Columbus would have lost that, you better believe that Christian Ramirez is going to think about that chance because 9 out of 10 time with how good Christian Ramirez has been this season for Columbus, that's in the back of the net most of the time, but it wasn't in this case. And then in the 78th minute, Kai Kamara actually gets summoned by LAFC. Now, this was kind of interesting because when he was summoned into this game, the Columbus fan, they booed him hard as he was summoned into this game. And that's kind of interesting because, Kai Kamara, we talk about, he has just been a legendary journeyman, probably the best journeyman player that have ever played in the league. He plays with so many different teams, pretty much have a record in terms of the most team he has played in his career in by any MLS players. So it was kind of interesting the fact that the crew fans were the one that really boo him mercilessly after he come back against his former team. He doesn't get booed by other team that he of course play for, and I guess maybe that has to do with there was some bad blood. I heard uh when he ended his tenure with the Columbus Crew, especially right after when they of course won before they won the MLS Cup. Or actually, they didn't win that MLS Cup. I'm sorry, they lost that MLS Cup to the Portland Timbers in 2015. I think 2020 when they won the MLS Cup, and then of course last year winning the same one. There was definitely some bad blood that was shared, so I guess that's kind of the reason why Crew fans doesn't like him so much. And that he was definitely getting booed mercilessly when he come on, and if he would have scored the winning goal, I mean, that would be the worst nightmare for every Columbus Crew fan. And maybe not only is a great revenge for LAFC, but to have one of the more hated former Crew player to score the winning goal, yeah, that would really hurt if you're a Crew fan. But in the 79th minute, Chanel would actually hits one that was spilled by Hagen, and he put an absolute knuckler on that shot, but it was Gatter on the second attempt. Bawanga then was in on goal there, but Hagen just about got that away for a corner. It was also a very quiet night for Denise Bawanga as well. I thought the Crew did a good job in terms of shutting him down for the most part of this game. But LAC continued to threatening. They were pressing for the winner and most importantly, revenge. And then we almost had a miscue at the back. And again, this has been a problem for Columbus in this League Cup where they have had so many games throughout this League Cup where they have give up a goal because of miscue at the back, and they almost did it again here. There's some miscommunication here between Hagen and Camacho. Really, Camacho has been kind of at the center of it. He has not had a great League Cup with the way that he's been at fault at pretty much all of those bad turnover that Columbus has had in the last couple of games. But yeah, he almost made another mistake here and almost gifted LAFC the lead there. But Columbus got away with it. But there was no doubt that the Crew were on the rope. They looked like they were on verge of conceding a goal with the way that LAFC was buzzing, and again just have not looked the same ever since they conceded the equalizer. But as we head near into stoppage time, thinking that this game go to a PK shootout, Cujo had other ideas because in the second minute of stoppage time, he would score from a ton to give the Crew the 2-1 lead, and a play that is just completely against the run of play because LAFC, they looked like they were going to win this. In no way you would have thought that before that moment that the Crew would win it late in this game, and it was kind of not only a moment of brilliance, but maybe a moment of luck too, because it was kind of like a little shot cross there. I know after the game, if you ask Cucho, does he meant to do that? He'll probably say yes, but I'm pretty sure deep in his heart, didn't really meant for that. That was really meant for Russell Rowe. And I know that I've heard there's a lot of LAFC fans have given Lloris the stick in terms of giving up this goal. I mean, for me, I feel like it's a little harsh to blame this on Lloris. I mean, yes, he got footed. That's obviously not a good thing when you're a goalkeeper. And also, not to mention, you could argue maybe he could have come off his lines and punched that one away because it was pretty close for him. Though it was kind of a low driven cross, so that's always one that's difficult to judge if you're the keeper and make that decision. And should you come out to punch that one away? But I think the reason why I'm not gonna think that this is really completely on Lurie's fault is because Russell Rowe was there to try to hit that one in, and I think he when he did that, it just froze Lloris a little bit enough that yeah, just goes past him like that. We see this happen before too. Whenever a free kick that is delivered in a dangerous area where no one touches and somehow it ends up to the back of the net. This was kind of similar to that, but still poor defending there from LAFC. Again, the fact that they let Cucho with that much space to cross. I mean, I know Cucho is known to be a goal scorer, but he can be a guy that provide assists and especially cross the ball from the flank here. I mean, yeah, just not great defending for LAFC. And then in the 4 minute stoppage time, the roof basically come off at lower Dot-Com field because Jason Russell Rowe on the breakaway would score from Cucho to make it 3-1 in favor of the Crew. And as I said, the roof not only come off at lower Dot-Com field, that was probably the loudest I've ever heard lower Dot-Com field. And yes, that include when they won MLS Cup when they scored those goals. It was just jubilation for all those Crew fans seeing their team cap off not only another win in the cup final, but that leads cup now into the numerous trophies that Wilfred Nancy has been able to win for this team in a short time. As they win 3-1 against LAFC, the shots in this one, 12 shots for the 7 that LAFC had, 3 shots on goal compared to 5 that Columbus had, 4 shots off target compared to 1 that LAFC had. Both teams had 3 shots that was blocked and possession-wise, 67% possession compared to 33% possession that LAFC has in this game. And with this win, Columbus, of course, is moving on into well, actually they get a berth not only to the CONCACAF Champions Cup, but I think they also get a berth for the FIFA Club World Cup because I've heard about how the winner of this competition will get a berth to the FIFA Club World Cup, and I'm assuming Columbus will be in that in 2025, and they deserve it too because I think they have looked really good so far, not only in this tournament but also in the CONCACAF Champions Cup as well. I'm very interested to see how they'll do when they do face against the best of the world, as we're gonna see a lot of big well-known team like Real Madrid and so forth, and Bayern Munich that's gonna be playing in that FIFA Club World Cup in next year. But yeah, certainly congratulations to the Crew and congratulations to Wilfred Nancy team. Another master class kind of performance to win a trophy in the final. But for LAFC, the narrative continues. If there's one thing we know about this Leeds Cup is that it feels like there are certain narrative, of course, continue. Obviously, we know about the Union narrative of not able to get it done. The same goes for LAFC. Again, these big games and especially these finals, they simply cannot get it done. And as I said before, if it wasn't for Gareth Bale and if it wasn't for them facing a team that also had that narrative of not being able to get it done in cup final game and still have that narrative to this day. This team would have lost all their cup finals in their franchise history, and we would already have a similar legacy of failure for this LAFC team as we speak with the Philadelphia Union as well under their core that they of course had. And honestly, in this game, I mean, if you're an LAFC fans, I mean, this one I think would hurt even more than what we saw in MLS Cup last year, and I would say that out of all these Cup finals that LAFC have lost, this one is going to be right up there in terms of the most painful one. I think between this one and the one against Tigres, it's going to be right up there in terms of the most painful final loss because yeah, they had the momentum in the second half, they had the chance to get that second goal, but how many times we have said before when you're on top, and especially you're facing against the likes of the Columbus Crew, you don't bury those chances, it's gonna come back to haunt you every single time. And LAFC weren't able to get that second goal. They let Columbus maybe a glimmer of hope to find a moment of magic and also some luck involved to get the winning goal, and that's exactly what happened in this game. So yeah, either way, hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do, make sure you guys like, smash the subscribe button. By the way, both of these teams is going to be back into competitive play. So as much as I'm pretty sure Columbus would love to celebrate this Leeds Cup for a couple of days. They got a midweek game against the Philadelphia Union, and the Union would love to have some revenge in that game, and especially the Union. They're probably gonna hope that returning to league play will be a way to get themselves back on track because as we'll talk about in the next video, talk about in their third place match against Colorado, a game where many people thought the Union was gonna get that third place, and it did not happen whatsoever. But yeah, for Columbus, obviously they don't have a lot of time to celebrate, and this is where I think that next game against the Union, I would not be surprised if they would have a bit of a let down or even a massive letdown too, because it's hard to trying to stay sharp and basically go at it again after you win a major trophy like what the Crew has had. And I know people will say that the Leeds Cup might not be a major trophy. Some even say it's like a fake trophy. The fact that Columbus, what they had to deal with throughout this tournament to get to that point, I don't think you can really say that's a fake trophy. Especially, I didn't know a fake trophy can get you your yourself to the Club World Cup and also get yourself back into the CONCACAF Champions Cup once again. But yeah, Columbus, they're gonna have really have a quick turnaround round and maybe kind of have like that cup hang over on that Wednesday game against the Union. Whereas for LAFC, it's the same thing. They got a U.S. Open Cup game in on Wednesday as well. The good news is they play against Seattle, which is a team that they absolutely owned the last couple of meeting, and they're going to be angry in terms of they're trying to win that and trying to maybe get themselves a chance to go to another cup final and hope that this will at least be one cup final that they won't lose. That is in the U.S. Open Cup final. I mean, at this rate, I don't care what kind of cup final it is. If you're an LAFC fan, you just wish that not only you get back to the cup final, but actually maybe defeat the narrative in terms of not being able to get it done in a final. I mean, I know if they win the U.S. Open Cup, and depending on who they face in the U.S. Open Cup, maybe that won't defeat the narrative because the team that they potentially could face could be teams that they're going to be heavy favorites in with either Sporting KC or Indy 11. But certainly, again, the narrative is still there with this team. This team simply just cannot get over the hump. Besides that one MLS Cup and also the help of Gareth Bale back in 2022 in terms of winning a another Cup final. But there you have it. As I said, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys like, smash the subscribe button, and yeah, I of course will see you guys next time.